One of the more prominent stories to have emerged over the winter break concerns Red Bull's long-awaited driver swap. After a miserable campaign that arguably cost the team a shot at the Constructors' Championship, Sergio Perez has departed. His place will be taken by Liam Lawson, who, with just 11 race starts to his name, is the least experienced Red Bull junior ever to be promoted from the sister team to the main team. Having been a seminal talking point for months, this move has not come as a surprise. Nevertheless, online outrage has been significant, with many voicing their support for Yuki Tsunoda, who's been passed up by Red Bull despite having been at the junior team in both its AlphaTauri and V-Carb guises for over 4 years now. The reason behind Tsunoda's snub are twofold. According to the race, Red Bull's higher-ups have essentially made their mind up about Tsunoda not long after his turbulent arrival in Formula 1, a position they have not altered since. When asked about a possible promotion, Christian Horner has repeatedly cited his past mistakes and occasionally erratic nature. While this was true of Tsunoda's first 2 seasons in the sport, during which his undeniable speed was offset by a lack of consistency, there's little denying his rate of improvement. After unexpectedly besting Nick de Vries in 2023, don't lie to me, you know you didn't see it coming, Tsunoda scored double the points of Daniel Ricciardo during their time together and has beaten Liam Lawson in each of the 8 qualifying sessions they contested as teammates in 2024. With regards to merit, it's tough to argue with the statement that Tsunoda has done more to warrant a call-up than Lawson. However, in addition to his allegedly strained relationship with certain senior figures at Red Bull, there is an additional corporate variable at play here. As a Japanese driver with significant backing from Honda, Yuki Tsunoda's initial signing to AlphaTauri in 2021 was, at least in part, done as a favour to Red Bull's engine supplier. After his uneven years in 21 and 22, much of the conversation regarding his future revolved around the role Honda was playing in his retention. However, with Red Bull set to begin a new partnership with Ford in 2026, the team is unlikely to promote a Japanese driver it initially hired to appease a soon-to-be ex-engine supplier. The long and short of it is quite simple. Despite his noteworthy improvements as a driver, Yuki Tsunoda is never going to get that Red Bull seat due to factors over which he has no control. What's more, Tsunoda is out of contract at the end of this season, and while the driver market could look completely different by then, there's a very real chance his F1 career as a whole is currently barreling towards a period of instability. But what of Liam Lawson? He may have been outdone by his teammates during his short stint in 2024, but don't let that divert you from the fact that he's still a great driver. On top of a stacked junior career that includes a win in the Toyota Racing Series, runners-up spots in the 2021 DTM Championship and 2023 Super Formula Series, and 5 victories in Formula 2, Lawson's fragmented F1 career has had its highlights. After deputizing for an injured Daniel Ricciardo in 2023, Lawson scored points at only the 3rd time of asking in Singapore, a weekend where he also outqualified Verstappen, went wheel-to-wheel with Alonso at Austin in 2024, held his nerve and scored points at the chaotic Sao Paulo Grand Prix, and, more often than not, found himself sharing the same piece of tarmac as Sergio Perez. He may not have done enough to surpass Tsunoda, but Liam Lawson is, by all accounts, a capable, gutsy racer, and the very idea of seeing him in a Red Bull is, at the very least, intriguing. Or rather, it would be, were it not for a series of doubts I and many onlookers have. Because let's be honest, we've all seen this script before. An ambitious young driver acquires a decent reputation only to be put in the same car as Max Verstappen, following which they get eviscerated by the Dutchman and are quickly shown the door. It happened to Gasly, it happened to Albon, and it eventually happened to Perez. Quick though he may be, I see no reason why Lawson won't have the same struggles as his predecessors, not least because he has already publicly spoken about the Red Bull's capricious handling. Lawson has had protracted seat time in the 2024 RB20 and, on a recent podcast appearance, described its handling as fronty. He went on to state that it has an unstable rear and an eager front, a setup that requires vast amounts of confidence to master. We've seen drivers like Alex Albon discuss both the handling of the Red Bull and Max Verstappen's driving style before, but that kind of admission and insight is usually born out of hindsight. To see an incoming young driver make the same observations is a bit concerning, not least because Lawson does not seem convinced he can master it. When asked if he will be able to marry his driving style to the Red Bull, he simply said, "We're about to find out." As sad as I am for Tsunoda, I like what I've seen of Lawson, and I see no reason not to wish him the very best at Red Bull. I just can't help but shake the feeling that, having been put on hold for a couple of years while Perez was actually doing well, the Red Bull second driver headache is about to return in full. Thank you all very much for watching. If If you like what you see, feel free to hit all the requisite buttons down below, and I'll be sure to see you very, very soon.